Today we have Rod Wiles of Hammond Lumber in Belgrade, Maine. Thank you for joining us today, Rod.
Thank you, Julianna. It's good to be with you.
Yeah, so we'll kick right off with the first question we're asking the committee, which is how did you get involved in the lumber and building materials industry?
Sure. So I actually started in the business almost 36 years ago now when I applied for an entry-level position here at Hammond Lumber Company. Our family had recently moved back to Maine, and my dad was working here as a truck driver at the time. And hearing about all of the good things that he would tell me about his experiences here, I thought it might be a good place to work. So I applied for a position. And finally, after my fourth attempt, Donald Hammond, one of the owners of the company, decided to hire me. I've often thought it was either because he was sick of me bugging him or he was desperate for help. But nonetheless, he did decide to give me a shot, and I've been here ever since. I started out pretty much right at the bottom of the barrel, working out in the yard, doing all the things nobody else really wanted to do, sweeping out warehouses and cleaning up messes and putting away materials, which was an excellent foundation for me because when I started in the business, I didn't know anything about anything pretty much, certainly not about this industry. But by handling the materials and helping to load trucks and unload trucks, I started to gain a basic understanding and a knowledge of the many different products that we carried. And because we were growing so quickly at the time, I was given a lot of opportunities that I might otherwise not have had in order to grow and to move up in the ranks of the company. So after working in the yard for a period of time, I moved inside, and then over the years, I worked in several different departments, from sales to purchasing to marketing. And eventually, I had the opportunity to move into our personnel department and to work directly with our director of operations and to start gaining an understanding and an appreciation for the people side of our business. And that's what I've been doing ever since. And now today, I have the privilege of being our Vice President of Human Resources.
That's awesome. I think your story sort of shows everyone how persistence can go a long way. It took you 4 times, and now look at where you are 36 years later with a little bit of knowledge of everything, which is going to make you all the more better in your position. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So then we'll take it to the next question, which is, please tell us about Hammond Lumber, the location, number of employees, everything like that. Just tell us a little bit about your business.
Yeah, so our company started back in 1953. Our founders, Skip and Verna Hammond, began operating a small diesel-powered sawmill at that time. They were cutting logs on good weather days. They were sawing them on bad days. And they did that until 1967 when their son, Donald, joined the company and opened a small seasonal retail store where they sold primarily just some of the lumber that they were milling and some nails. And they did that until 1969 when they decided to stay open year round. Then in 1975, Hammond bought their first branch location, and we haven't stopped growing ever since. Today, we are in our 4th generation of the Hammond family. Donald's son, Michael, is now our president. Mike's 2 daughters, Sadie and Bethany, they are now very involved in the day-to-day operations of the company. We currently have 21 locations, all spread throughout the state of Maine. We've got approximately 825 employees, and we are currently ranked in the top 25 nationally, and as far as independent building material suppliers are concerned, with over $350 million annually in sales.
Wow, that's awesome. Congratulations. I think you sort of touched on one of my favorite parts about the lumber and building materials industry, which is, that the fact that these are family-owned businesses, but for generations, which really shows how strong of an industry we are and how essential we are to to American society. So that's awesome. All right,
Yeah,
so then, oh, go ahead, sorry.
I think if you look at the foundation of many of our companies that have been around for a while, you know, certainly they are family based and have stayed that way for many generations.
Absolutely. All right, so then that brings us to the last question for the series, which is, what do you think is one of the most important issues for the American Building Materials Alliance to tackle?
Well, I think that there's certainly several issues that are important to our industry. I would echo the same thoughts that some of our other members on the committee have already shared, and issues that the ABMA is already targeted and is focused on. In the short term, certainly supply issues and inflation are currently very critical. Definitely something that's putting a significant amount of stress in a lot of areas, not just the lumber and building supply industry. So I think that it's vital for us to do our part to figure out ways to get these areas under control. One issue that I think would help in this effort would be a new softwood lumber agreement. That's another area that we have been focused on. Having a new softwood lumber agreement would help provide stability and predictability in our industry. It's not something that we've had since 2015, and it's an issue that we should be pushing our legislators and the current administration to address. And then finally, one of the most critical areas that I think is facing our industry currently is our workforce development. I think that generally speaking, young people are moving away from our industry specifically. I think that we've got fewer and fewer people that are interested in working with their hands and pursuing a career in the trades. And I think that this is going to catch up to us very soon, particularly in our industry, and it's going to have a significant impact as a whole if we don't start focusing now on what we can do to try to attract and to train our future workers.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for speaking on that, Rod. And to anybody watching this video, we will be tackling a lot of the priorities that Rod just discussed at our ABMA Virtual Advocacy Week, April 4th through 8th. You can register online at abmalliance.org. We hope to see you there. And Rod, thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.
You're good. Thank you for having me, Juliana.
Absolutely. Have a great day.
You do the same.
Thank you. Bye.